What is going on today, fam? So we are back again today. We are working on the EG, and as you can see, I already got the wheels off because today we are getting new suspension. So super stoked up on this. Right now the car is sitting on max speed and rise coilovers, and they've been cool, but these were really just a placeholder suspension for what we have here. So those of y'all that know suspension, I'm sure you're familiar with the name KW, but a lot of people don't run them up on their Hondas. But so when I was stationed in Germany, and when I used to go to the Nürburgring, this was one of the suspensions that you saw ran the most, KWs, and I got the highest spec KWs that they make for the platform here, which is the V3 variant. So let's go ahead and get these bad boys unboxed. I've already opened them up, but so first thing you're gonna find is it comes with its own little toolkit, which is a super nice touch. Open that up. Got some setup instructions, which is really nice. They come with instructions, but we'll dive in that a little bit later. So you got this little adjustment knob here for your rebound. Then you got this little adjuster for your compression or your bump. And then of course you got your spanner wrench right here. So that's that right there. We'll move this to the side for the moment. And let's get to the coilovers. Bam! So these things are beautiful. Just a little bit about these coilovers. They are a progressive rate coilover. So what that means is that as the spring goes through its travel, it gets stiffer. So you'll see this on a lot of like OEM cars and stuff, things like that. But this is going to lead to a much more comfortable ride on the street, instead of just a linear spring. So like you'll see up on most coilovers, you know, that's when you got like your 7K spring or your 600 lamb spring, whatever. So that spring, so each of those coils so requires that amount of force in order for it to actually go to compress. But with this, it's going to be a lot softer up top, and it's going to be a lot stiffer on the bottom. So that's just going to lead to better on-street manners, and that's kind of what I'm looking for with this car. Instead of running like a super stiff spring rate, I figured, you know, being the fact that this is a late 90s car, right? They're flexible, you know, it has a sunroof. They're definitely not the stiffest cars in the world, you know, and the body does a lot of twisting. But so when your body is twisting, so your suspension can't do its job, and it really can't keep the tires in contact with the road as well when you're going over bumpy surfaces and stuff like that. But with a softer spring setup and a more high-end damper, so you can help to compensate for that. And even though these might not be as stiff as some of the other coilovers on the market, so these can actually provide much better on-road and on-track performance because the tires are actually able to stay in contact with the ground, thus creating grip. And being the fact that I'm not running any aero whatsoever on this car, it's better to keep the tires in contact with the ground, because that's the only thing, like literally the vehicle's weight is the only thing that's going to actually be pushing these tires into the ground. But another cool thing about these coilovers is their fully stainless steel body. So any of y'all that ever have run coilovers in places that get like salted roads and stuff like that, you know for a fact that these threaded bodies can get all gunked up and rusted up, and you actually won't be able to turn the adjustment collars like this. But these have a stainless steel body, and then they use like this like composite material for the actual spring mounts. And man, these are just such a nice quality. It's such a beautiful coilover. I got these off Summer Racing, and with the military discount, I got a pretty good deal. I think I paid like $1,400 for these shipped, but the regular price I think is around $1,700. But that was with, you know, a bunch of sales and promotions going on, so can't say that you'll get that same price. But man, these things look beautiful, and the quality is just there. I'm super impressed. So these are a 3-way adjustable coilover. So what that means is you're able to adjust, number 1, your height here. Number 2, your rebound. So when the shock goes to expand after being compressed. And then number 3, your compression is down there, or your bump. So when you hit a bump, up like that. So you can adjust all 3 of those things, which is really cool. All right, so one of the things is that you do reuse your OEM top hats for these. So I smartly saved my OEM top hats, but excuse me. But so the sleeve in here is a smaller diameter than the new ride of the new coilover. So you actually have to put the new ride inside of there, which is super easy. I'll show you guys right quick. All right, so literally all I've been doing, taking it, putting it down. Put the new sleeve right here. Just take a hammer and just tap it. So the old one on the bottom, I just pull that out like that. Now I put this here so that way it can't come off. Give the new one a little push. And then take the hammer. And tap it on like that. So that new one is in there. You don't have to get like super duper precise, because when you go to tighten down the whole suspension assembly anyway, it's literally going to tighten and compress, so it doesn't really matter. Put on a new coil over here. And so you have your first washer on there. First, actually, I gotta bring the sleeve all the way down. Got to put this first washer on. Now we can bring the head of this on. All right, so got that on right there. It's a good thing about this, you know, about a coilover, you don't need a spring compressor. And then you put the next washer on top, and now you put the nut on there, and now you can go ahead and just tighten these down. Then from there, I'll move on to just adjusting all of these, because I got them all up. So you can see I got just all the top hats on there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the top hat nuts all tightened up that we can move to actually adjusting the coilovers. Okay, so I got these all height adjustment, and I got the bump and the rebound settings put in. So the KW is nice enough to give you these instructions right here, which make it super easy. So these are the measurements that you take right here. Hopefully I can see that. But so they have a minimum and then a maximum measurement. So they say the minimum is 4.3 inches for the front coilovers, and the rear is 7.7. Then the max for the front is 5.5 inches. Then the rear is 8.9. I'll show you what that means, right? So the way that you measure your front coilovers, you're basically measuring from this groove right here to the top of the spring perch. And they say it should be about they say between 4.3 inches to 5.5 inches. So I went like kind of like right in the middle at 5 inches as a starting off measurement. So for the rear, it's a lot easy. It's a lot easier to measure your rear. So you measure from this center bolt right here. And so the center bottom hole, and then you measure up to the top of the collar. So the minimum is 7.7 and the max is 8.9. I just went with 8. So from the middle right here to the top, it's about 8 right there. As far as the bump and the rebound adjustment, so right here they say that they recommend you for the front axle to start with 9 clicks open for the rebound in the front, and then in the rear 15 clicks open, and then bump 5 clicks open for the front and the rear. So I already have these adjusted, but KW includes really good instructions. So this is all just a starting base, and of course depending on your application, so they'll need tuning in order to get the setup just finalized, and I know I will for sure. But you know, that's kind of, you know, it's just That's kind of how it goes. But we are going to start in the rear. We're gonna get the rear suspension installed. Then from there, we'll get the front suspension installed. I'll kind of talk y'all through it, but you know, I'm assuming if you're doing this install, you've probably done it before anyway, so no need to spend too much time there. So first we're gonna get this max speed in rod out, take out that 14mm bolt, then we can throw in our new KW, get that all tightened up. I use my jack in order to make sure everything is good before I tighten it up. Moving to the front, super easy. Remove the lower fork, the top bolts that hold it on, put in a new KW. Now it's time to throw the fork back on, get everything tight. I jack up the suspension just so none of my bushings bind as I tighten everything up. Then after that, we are good to go. So I just put the car down for the first time. It's definitely sitting a bit higher, but the suspension still needs to settle, so I'm gonna take it for a drive right quick. So we'll go out right quick and I'll give you guys my first impressions just before it gets dark outside, because you know, it's already getting a little bit dark, but yeah, I'm digging it. I don't know, I might actually keep the ride height a little bit higher just so it doesn't rub. I mean, it doesn't look as good, but I might just keep it like this for a little while, we'll see. All right, so we are in the car now. Damn, the car just turned up on the road that we're about to film on. But just driving it. So keep in mind, we don't have an alignment yet. And we are on KW's factory recommended settings, which are going to be more conservative. And from just driving it, I can definitely say there's a good amount of body roll, but we can definitely firm up the dampers. So the rebound setting, so not really something that I'm worried about per se, but I can say these ride so good. Like they ride so good. And you can definitely feel the difference from the cheap dampers that were on the car to these, like night and day. The way that these like take a bump and just take a set is just amazing. Wow. You know, it's like the car is floating and the suspension is really doing what it needs to do. The car just feels phenomenal, like really phenomenal. And going over things like the little, like junctions in the highway and stuff like that, it just takes them so much better and just takes a set. Like the car itself just feels a lot more composed and together. Like it feels really good. It's going through these corners and stuff. It's honestly really impressive. The car, it just feels a lot more just confidence as far as, wow. And I actually like the body roll because it's like, you know, it allows the car to roll and take a set. You know, you feel like the car is like suspension is actually working underneath the car, which is a really cool feeling. Oh, it smells so good. I definitely need more power though, because this is not enough. It's like the car is so just like sure-footed that now, you know, with the braking package and everything. Another thing also, so when you crest the hill now, and it's like that, you know, like that point where your like guts kind of go up, you know, it's like you feel your stomach go up. Like the car used to get like real just unstable from that point, but now the car, it comes up, it takes a set, and it's just good to go. But it is a lot of body roll, like definitely a lot of body roll. But the car sticks though, you know, it's taking a set. It doesn't feel, you know, it feels as compliant as the stock suspension while still offering a great deal more performance. I am going to play with the settings and I am going to get it aligned, so I can only, you know, I can only feel that this is going to improve from here, but as far as like first impressions go, I'm pretty impressed to say the least. But I'm definitely gonna play around with it. And I have a rear sway bar coming in that's gonna help with just gonna help with a lot of that body roll as well, because this car has no sway bars whatsoever on it right now. So that's pretty exciting as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I definitely hope that this video was helpful for some of y'all that's, you know, shopping for suspension. But make sure that you know, just hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe for me. But take it easy. I'm out.
Coach.